Hey guys, Joe Franco here, and you're watching this video because you might be interested in hearing what I have to say. Um, what this is going to be about is quite simple because I see there's a lot of confusion among beginners about setting up sets and setting up how much weight they should do and when they should increase the weight. And it's a science in itself. And if you're not ready to do like a DUP, daily undulating periodization plan, or the plan that I have, my VIP, which is very similar. It's a good way to start off using a linear approach, meaning just adding weight every single time you train. So you're adding more volume. Because as we know, there's no fancy workouts that produce more results, in my opinion. It's all about adding volume slow, consistently, because that's what's going to change the body the most. And volume, as we know, is sets times reps times weight. You get a large number, and if every time that you train, you try a little bit more weight, the volume increases, and then in turn, as long as everything else is going good, you're going to be gaining muscle. So, like I said in the beginning, I mean, it's sort of like a science figuring it out. And when I started a new client, they said, well, what weight should I be using? Um, and I really don't know because I'm not personally training them. I can help figure that out when I do personal training, but it's a learning process and it's a learning curve. But it's not to get be discouraged, because after a few sessions of, say, we'll take squatting for example, you'll figure it out. So obviously, when it comes to the warm-up sets, a little bit higher rep range, 10 to 15, but it's not to knock yourself out, because too often I'll have people exhaust themselves with the warm-up sets before they even get to the heavier working sets that will have the most effect on the body. So again, you have to figure it out. And if you're a stronger person starting out, well, guess what? You're going to do more warm-ups because it's going to take more warm-up sets to climb to that working weight. If you can squat 50 pounds, well, you may only need one or two warm-up sets. It's all relative to the person, but please don't get discouraged. Typically in my plans, I'll write a range of warm-up sets from anywhere from like 1 to 3. And if you've been weight training for even longer, it can take 4 to 5. Only because if you're older, you just need to warm the body up. It's just like a car, running into cold. It needs to warm up. It needs to get lubricated. So getting past the warm-ups, again, you want to feel good. That's a great indicator going into your working sets. You want to feel ready to handle the weight. It's not about knocking yourself out. I mean, that could be a whole another video in itself. It's just about setting your body up right, to feel good, to feel loose, to still have the energy. So when you do your working sets, and we'll take the example that you have 3 prescribed working sets, you're ready to go. So let's use squat as an example, okay? And we'll just take 100 pounds that you feel like you can do squats, 3 sets, 10 reps apiece at 100 pounds. Now, a lot of people are eager, so when they do that first working set, they'll go all out, okay? So they can do like 12 reps. But then the phenomena, which is pretty interesting, is that every preceding set, you're not going to do as many reps. So if you look at the total volume, it may not be as much if you were to conserve, okay? See, what I try to teach and what I promote with my personal training clients, and when we get to the nitty-gritty for my online clients, I want them to save some energy. So when you're doing that third working set, you go all out, okay? So let's start fresh. Wipe the slate clean. Your goal is to do 100 pounds, 3 sets, 10 reps. You go in, you do your first set for 10 reps, you do your second set for 10 reps, and then on that third set, that third working set with 100 pounds, you do as many as you can. If you can do 15, well, guess what? You're definitely going to be adding weight to the next time you do the squatting. If you hit the 10 reps, so you hit the prescribed, the 3 sets of 10, you're still going to add. And it's usually you want to add the smallest amount of weight possible. It could be 5 pounds, it could be even 2.5 pounds total, because that will still allow linear progression and add more volume. So the next question I get, well, Joe, I follow that scheme. I'll get the first 10 reps, the second 10 reps on the second set, and on the third set, I'm falling short. I'm only getting 7 or 8. What should I do? Stick with that weight and reps until you get the 3 10s. Keep on working at it because you'll break through. If you don't, well, maybe you should reset and lower the weight. But as long as you're adding 1 rep, say you only got 7 reps on that last set, you go to 8, well, you did more volume. As little as it may be, you still did more volume. And then you go to 9, and then 10. When you hit the 10, then go to 105 pounds and start fresh, meaning like your next squat workout, you do 10 reps, and you go for another 10. So it's really about small increments. Adding volume at small increments is going to make the biggest difference. I mean, that is the biggest thing to weight training, period. It's about adding volume. Now, obviously, when you do this to the main exercises, the lead off exercises, you're burning more energy, so you may not have the same type of energy or increases for the secondary stuff. So, for example, you squat and then you go into a lunge afterwards. Well, I don't tend to worry about it as much as long as the initial exercise is increasing. The lunging, as long as you're still pushing yourself, going close to failure, that's ideal. So, as summary, I mean, adding small increments to the weight, not knocking yourself out on the first or second working set. Leave it for the end because it's all about momentum and building strength. And I've learned over the years personally that you don't have to go to failure on every single set because one, that's going to lead to injury, it's going to slow down progression, and especially number 3, you're going to get burnt out. So using sub-max levels is not a bad thing as long as the VIP, that was going to lead to that, as long as the progression is there. So small increments, sub-max level training, which is basically not working to failure, but as long as you're adding weight, that's the key. That is it for weight training. And that's why the DUP's gotten really popular, and I adapted it and made my own version because that's all sub-max levels, and you'll see in my programs that it's listed in there. Okay, guys, hopefully this was helpful.